makes sense. As we jump right in, Brawl Ball is going to be our first matchup here. And Trav, we'll talk to you after the jump. But ready, set, we're going to jump right on in here. And you can see it's Meow in the mid, trying to push up forward. And Rising Sun coming out of the top side of your spectator UI. And on the other side, Mameshi in that mid on the max. But a win in the right lane allows Barley to step up. Max is going to push forward, gets punished for it. And now an open net, pushed in, and scored.
Wonderfully played here for Rising Sun SEA. Love some of the draft selections here as well. That Barley's going to be incredibly oppressive for really anyone that faces it. A good move to switch Ryohi on the right side, though, to break things down. And some big moves around the left, too, as Troy has to fight right into that Tara. Just free supers all day long for the Tara. A 3v2 ensues with Rising Sun SEA on the defense. Another good kill on a Meow. And Rising Sun SEA looked like they might have been staggered for a moment, but Team Flash are sort of having to reel this one back. A lot of room opened up by Barley here, and Rising Sun SEA might be able to bring things out into the open again.
Well, I don't even know if they're interested in it. So Troy goes ahead and trades out of the left-hand side. Always fun to see a Primo, the control tank coming out here, doing job on the left-hand side. Mameshi hits go. And one kill is good, but not great. Not enough of a window to shove Team Flash up and to the left. As I said, Rising Sun cornered this ball, and they've got a long time to sit, 60 seconds about. But still, that seems to be the game plan. Just chill.
And plenty of ways to defend, too, as Troy has that super on lock. Mameshi's going to try and get some speed here. Nice super there for Meow, and a takedown on the left side. Troy has that super.
Wow.
He's just flashing it, waiting for the perfect time to pop in, or maybe just playing defense. They're actually going to leave this ball in the back left corner as they gradually push things back. Speed on Hiroshi on the right side isn't going to accomplish too much, unfortunately. He has that super in hand, and a good takedown on the left side from Troy. It opens things up quite a bit as well. A self-super from Meow. Troy has got to play defense. Mameshi completely circumvents it. 20 seconds left. Got to see some kind of move from Team Flash.
Well, it's not going to be on the left side. Meshi falls down left. Hiroshi falls down right. Ryo coming up on by himself, and goes the Weasel. We'll count it down from 5, but Rising Sun takes game number 1.
I like the draft here from Rising Sun SEA. We didn't get to quite final selection here. He was probably picked in advance to prevent another tank selection on the opposing side, and it didn't wind up working out for these guys, but they're still able to sort of secure their own fate with an early first goal that they look to develop once again.
Barley was a big mover and a shaker in game number 1, to be honest with you. Although the right side, the 2-on-1, works out. Well, I don't know if there's going to be a scoring opportunity for Rising Sun. CZK does secure the kill, but not a window of opportunity just yet. Respawns are out in 3v3, but we are definitely on Rising Sun's offensive push. CZK wins one, but so does Hiroshi. And Troy's got to watch out. This will wind up being a neutral trade, balls in the backfield. And so nothing doing for either team here. 1:40 to go.
And Rising Sun, they're equipped to play defense, but they can't really do that just yet. They still need to secure their first goal. Ryohi on the left side, wall break, and a takedown onto Troye. Things are wide open for them to get some good value with that super. Another super for Hiroshi on the right side. Ryohi sent all the way to the back lines. Little self-destruction of the walls as well. And no value there for Troye. It's goal number 1 for Team Flash.
Listen, I'm not the guy that sits here and tells you how hard our job can be sometimes, but that's the opposite. Sometimes it's real easy to figure out what happened in the play. Tara hit the double super and they scored off of it. That's all of the analysis you need, folks. Hero gets another kill, and this might be another score. Big play by Primo. Corners the ball on the left-hand side and finds the defense versus 1, 2, and 3. Buys enough time for his team. Troye with a huge play there for Rising Sun, keeping them in the game.
It's going to be kind of oppressive, though, for Rising Sun. They're missing walls. Mameshi also can get a lot of value for them with some of these walls broken down, especially on the right side. CZK doesn't have a whole lot of terrain to play around. Hiroshi is going to be his ideal lane matchup, but he is at relatively equal range once the walls are down. Here's a speed. Could be a big move from Ryohi. He's trying to create pressure on the left side, but there's just not really much he can do. Just waiting for the clock to tick down. Hopefully they can defend for another 15 seconds. In goes Troy, CZK with the takedown on the right. Mameshi very, very low on health, but Hiroshi remains alive. It's 5 seconds left and no chance in sight. Rising Sun SEA bringing things back for a victory. It's a team flash W as we tie things up in set 1.
You just can't clump up against the Tara with the super available.
I mean, my thoughts exactly, right? As soon as you see 2 brawlers within that radius, you might as well assume that you're dead already unless you have some Galaxy Brain strategy in your back pocket. Well, Rising Sun SEA, they're going to get this done with the early game aggression. Ryohi take down the left side, easy pass up to Troye, and he just walks it right up to the goal line. Well done for Rising Sun SEA, and that's exactly what they needed. They will have to play into the speed off that second pitch of the game, but still, they have the materials to make this defense work. As long as they don't allow those walls to be broken down, they should be relatively safe.
Left wall broken open there. Keep an eye on that. Meshi gets the kill on the left side, but Troye just walking him down. Such a strong defensive character when he's got this wall to hide behind. The 2-on-1, though, certainly going to work out in Team Flash's favor. Troye falls down as Ryo and Mameshi bark on the left lane. Damage out here. The pass to himself. Walks it in. Tied at 1.
Unreal there from Max. I really did not expect Mameshi to be able to make that work, but I should learn to expect as much from a world champion just a couple of years ago. Well, here he comes once again, already looking for that super. Hiroshi pressing up the left side. Good defense from Troy on the right. Mameshi's got to get the super pretty soon here. And he has a wide open area to do so, but Meow is lasering him down 2 shots in a row. Will take a moment to rejuvenate some of this health. CZK also, if he gets that next super, can create a lot of pressure for Troy to just run this down. Meow has the super to pair up with him too. If they decide to just go ahead and go for it, here's the healing herbal tonic in. Troy is thinking about it. He's having second thoughts, decides not to go in, but he might have wasted enough ammo now. The takedown and the super in from CZK, but there's enough firepower to hold them back, it looks like. Yes, and Ryohi with the takedown. Rising Sun SEA stay at the line of scrimmage.
Full out reset. Ball essentially in the center. Overtime probably works out in Team Flash's favor, if you ask me. Barley nothing to hide behind, neither does the tank have. So Rising Sun notices that, and they want to end it before overtime, or at least use this mid-push to open up the world. Mid is open, ball is in, back of the net, Rising. And asking that question is really what we want to do. We want to create that conversation. Right now, though, we've got Hot Zone Dueling Beetles in front of us. We'll go to Heist Pit Stop later on after this one. And we'll see what else we got a little bit later. But a spooky situation as we jump here into Dueling Beetles. The bands are in. Squeak is our first selection overall. And our bands do include Shelly, some Poco as well. Interesting. And the Stu band's unsurprising. Stu's just that guy.
He's just good, right? All around good brawler. It can be frustrating to play against a lot of times, especially if your enemy has low ping. We're all playing on the same server here in the monthly finals, but you never know if someone took a little vacation to sit right on top of the server. So play it safe, get rid of the Stu. And overall, once again, just to reiterate, frustrating brawler to play. But let's talk about the Squeak. Usually, at least if it were more than a couple months ago, I'd be very sort of apprehensive towards this first selection. But Squeak has gotten a huge, huge buff. One of Squeak's star powers now gives additional, always gave additional damage, but now has 20% additional damage instead of 10% additional damage to those normal attacks. So I think that'll be really, really valuable. He's a good DPS now. The selections from Rising Sun are going to sort of play the range game as well. Going to have to play around the control that Squeak has to offer, but as long as you're able to operate against Squeak even when he is locking down a lane, I'd say that's a pretty good situation.
The Gus selection here across the way on Rising Sun as well. You can see 80% win rate for Gus, usually played in the mid lane, able to have those long range shots and of course provide the shield for his teammates. Big fan of Gus and Bonnie. Bonnie jumps in, gets some help from Gus. Big, big, big cool interaction there. And then our last choice, as there's a lot of control on the side of Team Flash. Rising Sun go to Barley again. They went to Barley in the first one, going to go to Barley here. I think it makes a little bit more sense on Dueling Beetles than it did last time around, but it worked last time around, so I'm not here to dunk on it at all.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that makes me scratch my head a little bit is that they're playing it into Gray, and theoretically Gray should be able to just TP in, get a free kill versus any squishy brawler, so we'll see how that works out for Rising Sun SEA. They picked this one very deliberately, so they must have some kind of counterplay that's going to prevent that from happening. Maybe they're able to switch their lanes pretty effectively. I'd say it's more challenging to do with Bonnie on your team since she is pretty slow. We'll see how they managed to make do with it. CZK going to play the mid game here, and also Mameshi throwing down some of those bombs at mid, trying to create some space. Now going for the lane switch over to the left side. Ryohi looking to pull CZK back. Interesting prediction over there, considering that all three other brawlers were visible. But yeah, there's the pin as well. Ryohi, I think, knows that that one wasn't the greatest, but they got plenty of time to start winning this one back.
Well, Meow here on the left side. As everybody's slowed down, Rising Sun is able to step forward as Meow takes down Rio. But as soon as we say that, Hero makes the play to come push, and now Mameshi the only one on the point. Winning this duel versus Meow, fantastic play. Rio shows up, gets the yank, but not able to find the damage. And so Team Flash now taking the lead by sitting on the point. Mameshi doing a lot of the hard work, bringing his team to a third and counting.
Woo, wonderful play here from Hiroshi. He's going to get that takedown with that spirit spawning from his super. Meow remains alive at mid 2, but it's a 1v2. Now joined with Bonnie at his side, and Barley joining the fray too. Rising Sun SEA gradually forced out of this area. CZK still has some indestructibles to hide behind on the left side. Ryohi gets that final bit of damage with his last gadget. Won't be able to break down any more walls, but it's probably not too much of an issue. Meow doesn't get too much value here on the right side, hiding behind those walls. Another TP in from Ryohi. And it was a slow start for the guy, but he really has managed to bring things back with some valuable gadgets and some great TPs.
Yeah, look at where this TP is. It's directly at the 3 o'clock to this unbreakable wall of L, and that is really, that's what Rising Sun was hoping to put their thrower behind. And like you said, Gray just negating this situation, doing a great job of giving his team a better position. And because of that, all three players of Team Flash sitting pretty on the point. No chance to survive. Make your time. Game number 1.
Or really any brawler for that matter. So picking something that kind of risky into him. We'll see if it was necessarily the best play for Rising Sun SEA, because they do have a chance to start to bring this one back. Just need to get a couple wins in a row. It's not really an easy task versus Team Flash. We also see the residue throwdown on the left side, forcing everyone over to mid and the right lane. Soon enough, it will expire on the left. Good pull here from Ryohi. It's just a bit of additional damage, though. Need to see some wall breaks in on those walls on the right, which we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see. Rising Sun SEA grab back that control of mid, and Team Flash relatively trapped in spawn.
But so how do they keep it? That's the question here, because Team Flash has a bunch of options. They can TP aggressively. They can keep you away with the squeak nonsense. But when Rising Sun gets on the point, they have a number of tools to get there. But once they're on there ready, Rising Sun seems to kind of fall down. Bonnie's kind of a fish out of water. And look at the way CZK is just pushed away.
Very well. Oh my gosh, and a great super from Ryohi. I mean, rather from Hiroshi. But Ryohi on the right side here can get a lot of work done with that last gadget. As long as he's able to pull someone through these walls, it'll be great value. He's going to use that last one, though still is able to get the TP through. Bit aggressive here. Not going to win that 1v2 interaction with CZK. Really get that much damage for that matter. This is how you play into the Tara pull, though. Make sure you snag yourself on a bit of the environment. Get yourself sitting around one of those blocks. Make sure you don't get pulled into the middle. It was a great bait from Rising Sun SEA. And Team Flash still managed to keep control of this mid. It's going to be a lot of work for Rising Sun to win this one back.
41 to 75-ish. Team Flash on the good side. And after that team wipe, that might be it, to be honest with you. Rio and Mameshi sitting on the point. Hero playing on the wing. And the pins are out, the spins are good. That's going to be the end of game 2. Set. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful play there. As we jump into Heist, we're going to pit stop. And we will go to double swoosh after this. We'll see if we need Bell's Rock there for set number 5, rather. I'm anticipating a friend, but I don't see any, and I'm a little upset. Ah!
Is that friend
Look
material?
at that big smile. I mean,
I like the flight.
I don't want to. I don't want to be his foe, so I'm definitely going to be his friend. Nita, first pick here for Team Flash overall. I want to touch on Cordelius real quick. Banned twice out. Do you think without a ban we'd see any play from Mushroom Man?
Maybe I would. Well, okay, Team Flash, I think absolutely know what they're doing. Rising Sun SEA might just send it in case, but I do know that Cordelius is incredibly strong right now. He can actually stun lock you pretty much. He'll just take you to the Shadow Realm. Literally, that's what it's called. He'll take you to the Shadow Realm.
Yep.
And then he'll keep you in there because he charges super back up, keeps you in there, and congratulations, you're stuck there for the rest of the game. So maybe better not to risk it. Typically also what we'll see pretty much for all of the existence of Brawl esports is that when there's a new, really strong brawler in the game, the underdog is basically always going to ban it.
Makes sense. As we see our BB coming out here. Not every day we see the baseball bat, but certainly can make noise. That unbreakable wall on the bottom side by the or by the safe side. Obviously, you can slam the bubblegum back and forth, do some real damage. No surprise here out of some of the choices we see for Rising Sun. And there's the Crow. One of the better all-around DPSers in the game at the moment and in general. Paired up with the Daryl. So a very, very offensive composition here from Team Flash. They are looking to hit the gas pedal.
I like these moves from Team Flash. I think Crow isn't going to get as much value as he maybe could because it's not a super open map, but still can get some good value slowing down BB. And really, if there's any other healing ideas, more likely a tank idea coming from Rising Sun and SEA, he can just pop the slowing toxin on. I really want to talk about the Nita, though. I mean, it's not really a surprise to see Nita in pit stop in the bans, but to see her picked is not super common. This could be an oversight for Rising Sun SEA to not get rid of both Barley and Nita, considering that Team Flash have that first pick. Now they're going to have to play into it, so it could be a bit of suffering for them, especially for BB, who's going to be feeding those Nita supers repeatedly, depending on how the lane interaction works out. I anticipate Meow will probably try and get on that mid lane versus Nita. Since that's where we see her played a lot of times, Crow also can take up that mid role. We'll leave it up to Team Flash to decide how they want to lay things out, though.
I mean, here's the deal. You've given Rising Sun an impossible task, essentially. You got to ban Shelly. Barley and Nita are both essentially asked to be banned. Plus, you have new Cordelius. As you said, the lower card is usually expected to ban the new crazy guy. And so you essentially have 4 must bans. Whatever one makes it through gets first picked by Team Flash. Lucky them. So the Bear Lady is on the left-hand side, dealing with Rico. I say dealing with because Rico should win this matchup, and he is. Right side, though, Troye winning Rio. Just kidding. Shotguns blast backwards. And the fight's won by Team Flash.
Rio on this right side here is trying not to get absolutely domed by CZK. Same here for Hiroshi versus Troy, just trying to get that super up. Troy is playing a dangerous game, though, getting pinched out by 2 characters at once. Ryohi with a takedown, rather getting taken down, and Meow finishes him off with a chain to super. Well done, Hiroshi on the left side, taken down as well. Meow now gets to advance. Ryohi still wants to send it up the right, but he's given no opportunities. Troy's going to keep on knocking him back, getting a lot of damage off of him. Ryohi tries to get some kind of stun here, but doesn't make connection with Troy. It's a good advancement here for Rising Sun SEA as Troy can maybe get it onto this safe. Rio, he's still being a really stiff defender. Rising Sun SEA start to take the first bits of damage on their safe. A little trade out here too as Team Flash takes some damage on them.
Both teams just tickling each other's saves at the moment. 25% done by Rising Sun and a little bit more by Team Flash. As ZZK puts down the barrel, 63% left now for Rising Sun. So Team Flash with a 10% lead. And with 40 seconds to go, still a ton of time. Check out Daryl right side. Troye just now notices. We'll try to keep him at bay. Big damage coming out on the top side here. And Rio falls down, but damage is done here, Reddy said. Both teams have barked. Now only 2% separating our squads.
20 seconds left. Countdown coming in soon. 2% remains. And Rising Sun SEA possibly in a more optimal situation. CZK tries to push forward. Hiroshi takes a lot of damage. This could be it. Big move in from Ryohi. A stellar defense from Meow and no super from Ameshi. No more damage can get in here, but the damage is already done. No, never mind. A final swing on a team flag.
So game one going in the direction of Rising Sun. Last moment victory. Fun stuff. Amechi just coming through in the clutch there. Or at least trying to. Rising Sun winning it on the bottom side.
Pretty serious aggression here from Meow on the left. Hiroshi getting kept back super effectively. Great use of the angles from Rico on the left lane. But Meshi tries to sort of sneak around CZK. Got to get good dodges versus the Fertilize. Maybe a takedown for Ryohi. No, never mind. A takedown for Troye as he gets the defense off. And no damage for Daryl on that save. Still riding nice and high in the opposing safe health. Meow on the left side also. Good damage in. Ryohi tries to roll forward. Might be able to escape the clutches of BB. Lots of damage in. Just 1%. And that's all he's going to get as Meow continues to hammer down on Team Flash's save.
Yeah, Meow has done about 18% now. As Team Flash has only gotten 1% across the way. So Rising Sun again. The bottom card doing the majority of damage here. CZK over the top. Gonna find the super on the save as well. So sub 60% here for Team Flash. Again, just a reminder, Rising Sun has never won one of these finals. Still a lot of Brawl to be played though, Ready. A minute left.
Yeah, if they keep up this kind of aggression, they certainly can generate a victory for themselves. A minute left. Ryohi now looks for the roll in. Troye just keeps smacking him back though, giving him one concussion after the next. He's looking for any chance. Went for the double stun too, but Troye persists. Another roll in. Mameshi and Hiroshi look to close in around the sides. Troye quickly taken down. He manages to persist through all of that poison. Force himself up the right side. Not too much damage down to the save in all of that scrap. 35 seconds remain for Team Flash to make something happen, but it's going to come down to Ryohi. And even still, he's going to have to push through BB every single time. It might be too much to ask.
Check this out, though. Top side, somebody's doing damage to the Rising Sun. Safe. It's Ryohi doing a ton of work. 62% left, but he's down. It's still Rising Sun's game, 9% and counting. CZK tosses the super onto the safe. That'll tick it down one by one. No chance for Team Flash to get there. Rising Sun takes the game and the set. They sit 2 above Team. It's really easy to have an ego. And when you're playing in a competitive world, you got to put your ego in your back pocket, you know? And just like, hey man, Rio, he's a great player. Jay, who's the better one? That's not the conversation you're having. This isn't working. Who wants to take a seat? Okay, you said you saw a spike mushroom?
Yeah, look, it's to the left.
Oh, I see it. I'm just so terrified by Big Teeth Guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's keeping the spike guy safe, so rest assured he's going to be safe and sound there from anyone who could seek to upset our new friends' day. We'll see, though, the first selection from Rising Sun could certainly, unfortunately, put a dent in that poor Mushroom's face with the super. Rising Sun SEA, great first selection from them. We'll see how Team Flash plan to counter it, but if you're looking at those win rates, yeah, those are the win rates from last month across all regions with a minimum of 10 games played for each of those brawlers. A 78% win rate for Shelly looks pretty threatening. I know that Team Flash are hoping that it's going to be the remaining 22% for this set.
Yes, that Shelly Open here. I mean, okay, Team Flash bans out Cordelia, Squeak, and Crow. Where are we? Double swoosh? All right. Okay. Cool. I probably... Ooh, do you ban Shelly instead of Squeak here?
That is it. I mean, I think that Rising Sun SEA had to decide which brawler they wanted as their first pick and just decide, yeah, I want the Shelly, so we'll get rid of the Squeak. I mean, those are both absolutely
I'm more looking at Team Flash's. Like, Team Flash has to ban out. They don't have first pick, so they have to ban out Cordelius. Squeak's pretty insane after the buff. Crow's Crow. Would you have banned out Shelly instead of maybe the Squeak or the Crow?
I think Squeak is probably more troublesome. There are ways to deal with Shelly. I think that Shelly's like, Shelly is a good player killer. Shelly is a noob killer, but when you're at this level of play, you find ways to deal with it. Team Flash, I think, are absolutely up to the task.
That's also, ooh.
That's not how I would have done it, but I'm not a good player.
Yeah, we'll talk Chester. But that's also something I wanted to say about the Shelly is that, like, the first month of Shelly stars was nobody could beat it. But the longer high-level players play against extremely strong stuff, the better they get against it. Shelly is still absurdly powerful, but the players at this level are better versed at it. So, you know, there's that. Chester coming out here, I think there's always something to be said about the variance. You are rolling the dice. Whether you get that stun or not is questionable. But what does he reliably bring that makes Team Flash pick this with their back against the wall? Don't forget, Rising Sun, this is their match set.
Yeah, and that's really like kind of almost a paradoxical question because there's nothing reliable about Chester. He has one of the more powerful supers that you can get. You can get that stun, right? Call it the funny hee-hoo because of the sound it makes. But, ooh, big pull there for Meowr on the right side. But Mameshi, he's able to scout out the bushes effectively, if anything. He does go on a 4-shot cycle. Good takedown for Jay on the left side as well, shutting down the Shelly. And the Stu mid is putting in work for these guys. And this is sort of when we begin to realize, yeah, this is why they didn't select Shelly. They knew that in a lot of cases she can be the best selection, but Jay is going to play such good control around it.
Also, Hiroshi is just, this is where Stu, gem grab, he's just outplaying you, man. Hiroshi went here mid, 7 gems in the pocket, hasn't dropped a single one. CZK walking up here and forcing Team Flash out. But there's just no uncoordinated movement from Team Flash. Every single time Hiroshi walks up, he's got teammates with him. He's playing the spray perfectly as well.
I think really the big move for Rising Sun SEA is just as soon as Hiroshi gets that next one, Troy's going to have to pop that super. He might be able to farm it up quickly. No takedown for Hiroshi on the left side. CZK left completely high and dry. Hiroshi now with the takedown. And the spacer out from Team. What's going on, dude? Hey, did they forget about the last couple sets?
Mameshi just, I've never seen somebody spin that hard, dude. That was, he's feeling some type of way. Okay. To a team that you feel like you should have lost to. Mameshi's like, I come all the way over here from a different region, and this is what you do to me in July? And then Rising Sun steps on him as soon as game number 2 starts. Nice response there from the red team.
Oh, look, I didn't expect to see Team Flash stoop to psychological warfare here with the spins, but we'll see how effective it is on Rising Sun SEA. They are just a couple of games away from winning a monthly final and breaking Team Flash's streak, also advancing themselves to the LCQ for this region. Team Flash, not the greatest start for these guys so far. Rising Sun SEA, looks like they leaned forward in their gaming chairs this time. 6 gems already, and not a single one going to Team Flash. Not a bit, not a shred of control for Team Flash, even in their own bushes.
Yeah, big shrimp mode here for Rising Sun, but I think it has a lot to do with keeping this M's at bay. CZK also actually getting involved. Shelly was having an issue because Stu was just outplaying, outranging, outbrawling this entire Rising Sun squad, Shelly specifically. Now Jay does get a kill, but there's 9 on CZK and Meow's got 1. And this one might be all the way for Rising Sun. Jay on the left side has an opportunity. That's smoked out. We're tied up at 1.
Absolutely peak from these guys. However, it could just as easily go to set number 5 depending on who wins this game. Team Flash.
Very true.
Once again, they got to go full shrimp mode. They got to lean forward in their gaming chairs here. Pedal to the metal and not surrender that bush so early in the game like they did last time. It seemed to be really troublesome, especially a teamwork between CZK and Troy on the left lane.
Yeah.
So far, Team Flash, though, nice work. A good few gems, but not really too much control on the right side. They haven't forfeited control of anything. They've also got Jay paired up versus Troy. We'll see how long that lasts. Good use of the cross-stick charisma. And a takedown, too. Rising Sun SEA tie things up, but they don't have that control they need.
CZK kept out of combat now for a solid 10 seconds. Just now stepping forward. Teams all but tied, 4 versus 3, but the 4th on the floor here. And number 5 as well, as Rising Sun takes the lead. Game number 1, CZK did nothing. Team Flash won. Game number 2, CZK did a lot. Rising Sun won. Game number 3, CZK 50-50, making some plays, getting pushed out. Because of that, we have a tighter game here. I really think it all lies on this player. Meow gets a kill against Mameshi, and Troye in trouble as well. But Rising Sun, with this mid-control, 3 gems above Team Flash.
Rising Sun SEA just trying to hang on to this control here. An easy gem for Meow to hang on to. Hiroshi could get some serious damage in here. Jay has to push forward. He's got to get this super down. Troy, big damage on him. CZK also completely left open. Hiroshi goes for the shots. Good
Huge
take
play
from Meow. Mameshi with a final takedown, and Troye advancing, trying to keep these gems safe. An easy cache for them to grab when they so desire. CZK is going to pick up a couple of them, but decides to leave the rest in the back right corner. Easy kills for Jay versus CZK. It's a countdown for Team Flash as they start to pivot onto defense. 10 seconds remain. They got plenty of room, just got to back up slow and steady to bring this one into set number 5. 5 seconds remain. No super for Troye, neither for Meow. Not a whole lot of mobility. A super for Jay around the right side too, and a nice, far to say, like the most competitive monthly final that we've seen in this region so far, because we don't typically see a team go so far versus Team Flash. But I'll put my money on Rising Sun to make it work. We're going to Bell's Rock for a bit of knockout action. Slow down the pace just a little bit if gem grab wasn't tedious enough for you just yet. But I think a lot of different strategies that can be put to use here. Typically see that long range play. Of course, that's not Bell's Rock. That's Layer Cake. Let's get Bell's Rock up here. Squeak is the first selection as well. Going to get some good control play. Probably some decent DPS as well for Team Flash. Overall, strong pick. They get rid of the couple throwers as well as the gray, which I'm definitely a fan of. Triple thrower ban as well for Rising Sun. I want to say this is straight out of the Stamina playbook, but they're definitely not the first to think it is.
No Cordelius ban, first time all night. Think we see it in knockout?
No, too short ranged.
Agreed. Brock. Dude, an 82% win rate for Fang? That's got to be low pick rate, yeah?
No, this is off of 10 games played at minimum. Usually a last pick here, so.
And you know what? Like, yeah, Fang always just seems like, it's hard to say that he seems like an oversight because there are just so many better brawlers, but when you look at what he does and what kind of game mode knockout is, it makes sense on, like, in your brain. But then you go like, oh, but there's RT and there's all these other choices that I like kind of need to choose. So Gus chosen across the way and looking for a third and final choice here. Jay, Hiroshi. Have the Squeak and the Gus. Man, that Squeak change really changes the way you have to think about the character. Before he was, well, a high, like it was area denial. Just don't get hit. Now he's just kind of straight DPS.
He's able to do a lot of things these days. Used to be like a free kill for Carl, for instance. Interesting approach from Team Flash here. Usually, when you see the Gus, it'll be paired up with something that will benefit a lot from that shield. Maybe they plan on having Jay go super aggro. We'll see the Edgar final selection from Rising Sun. That's an interesting one. I see plenty of potential for Team Flash to play into this one effectively. If Mameshi can camp on that high-powered B, run the Honey Molasses as well to tank a bit more damage. Hiroshi can also get the knockback with the Cookie Popper. Jay is just a DPS machine. Rising Sun SEA, I mean, this is their time to make this streak vanish, to earn their first spot. The first non-Team Flash win in this region. I'm not sure if Edgar is the way to go about it, but they sure seem to think so. So we'll see how they operate.
Man. Edgar into this composition is a little bit rough. Squeak is almost certainly not going to be running the slow, the super sticky star power because of the better one. But I still, with Honey Molasses and everything, Edgar's just not in a good position to do what he does. Now, I often say that I do like these jump-in assassins in Knockout because the penalty, the slap back, just doesn't really exist that much. But this still is an arduous composition to pick the Edgar into. And so Rising Sun, again, kind of sticking to their style, picking some weird stuff. We've seen them do it before where it worked out. And we've seen it do it before where it didn't work out. I'm thinking that Barley in set number 2 or what it was. And Troye dies before he even gets started. Team Flash knocks the dominoes over. Easy game 1, easy round 1.
In the industry, that's what we call it, dead on arrival. Rising Sun SEA still have a chance to bring this back, but it's definitely a very difficult one to execute. Troy is going to have to take virtually no damage before he decides to commit. He gets a free super with his gadgets, so I think that's probably why he decided, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and use my super here, even if I have a very low chance of actually locking in any damage. He might be able to get onto Mameshi here, but still, Jay's going to be able to power him up with the shield, and that'll be very difficult to fight through. Meow on the right side also getting kind of comboed out. Here comes the residue. Mameshi now with the shield up. It could be an easy kill for Troye. There it is. Big damage from Jay into the Honey Molasses, but still Troye persists. Jay looks for really any value possible. Just need to get the super back for the next pitch. The 1 versus 3 is virtually impossible, but if he's able to get a super, then that's incredibly good value for Team Flash.
Jay's just waiting. I don't think we see any hero play here. Not with the Gus, that's for sure. Lands one shot, enough to get the super. So Jay does get the super. That is something to note here at round 2. Troye actually able to play the game this time. So nice look there. Jumping on the 6k health squeak, not ideal here for Troye, but Team Flash kind of forcing him in that position. And so a nice job there, kind of aiming the assassin. Still works out in the assassin's favor, but you know.
This could be it. Mameshi on low health. Instant damage from Meow to keep him low, keep him from regenning too much. He's still forced to switch lanes around the right side. Not a whole lot of range to work with against Hiroshi. Troye can go for a big move in. Might decide to go on to Mameshi. He's completely left alone on the right side. A miss super from Jay, who's just out of range. And a 3v2 is afoot. Jump back from CZK, an ability he's been hiding this entire time. Jay and Hiroshi sort of surrounded the left side. Jay looking for anything. Another gadget from CZ. I'm telling you, he didn't reveal this entire time that he was running the rocket laces, and he's just popping them off like it means nothing here towards the end. Hiroshi needs to stay alive. Good takedown with the 3KB. Another one, CZK dead as he lands, and Meow has to create some space here. Well done with that form down. Gotta avoid some damage. Looks for the final bit, but Jay persists.
Great control from the other side.
It's a tough one. I think in the final few moments, everything gets a little bit hectic, but Meow certainly could have ducked around that right corner. It came down to the last second. Jay dealing that final bit of damage, the tick before he went down to the poison. Well played by Team Flash nonetheless. They're at match point. Rising Sun SEA have the opportunity to make history in this region, at least for this year, but they still need to get 2 game wins in a row. Mameshi left all alone at mid. An easy kill for Troye. He even has a super to show for it.
He's going in a second time, and this is what Rising Sun kind of wanted. They wanted this separation, and then Troye can jump on in there. Honestly, made this one look a little bit easy. Do you think it's because Rising Sun got involved early?
Yeah, and I'm kind of trying to work that one out in my head too, because Team Flash, it looked like in game number 1, they were able to play this effect. Ooh, Jay's not moving. Hopefully he's present in the game. Rising Sun SEA, though, there we go. They've managed to single out opponents here. I'm sort of split between whether that's because they've done a good job of keeping enemies apart, or whether Team Flash have not done as good of a job of responding to it as they did in game number 1. Nonetheless, the verdict is the same. Rising Sun SEA sort of breezed through round number 1. So far, not a whole lot of development except for Team Flash as they push forward, but they can't get too separated. Mameshi needs to have some kind of backup plan. Here it comes. There's a super from Jay. Mameshi still alive. Troye with an insta-super on the left side, but it's countered. Mameshi with the trade.
2-on-2 here. Still anybody's game. 1 kill traded out for the other. Super coming out from CZK. Hiroshi popped like a pimple, and now it's Rising Sun. 2-on-1 versus Mameshi. This round gets them the game. Mameshi can't find anywhere to go. Right side.
Forgiving mode where every death is permanent for the round. There's a possibility that not only we go to the double match point, but we go to the double game point too. Rising Sun SEA once more with the Edgar. Have to find that good positioning. They've done a phenomenal job in the past couple of games. Team Flash, probably a lot more situationally aware. Jay has to stay closer. Mameshi isn't able to push up as much as he was pushing up before. Troy also is opting not to use his gadget. We'll jump back here for CZK. Places the sticky residue a bit further back than before. Rising Sun SEA hold on to the position. Just a slow and steady game so far.
This is where Rising Sun found themselves in trouble. When they waited for Team Flash to make a move, when they waited for the enemy to kind of come to them. Rising Sun has been successful with this composition by being the aggressors. Troye just now healing to full. One shot from this squeak brings him down to half, and then takes him out pretty much for the entirety of that time. But the gas coming in here. Jay down to half HP. Mameshi's the target. Troye finishes him off. Jumps on the secondary target. Already gone. But Troye's stuck. Hiroshi wins top side. It doesn't matter. Rising Sun played the better round there, Eddie. I think they played the better round, but they got stuck in the mud and died to the gas.
This is tragic. It was so well played by Rising Sun SEA up until that point. Team Flash, they could have the game in their hands. And they have the opportunity to sort of resolve some of those mistakes that they made in the early game in the last round. How will they plan to accomplish it is really the big question to ask here. I don't think Rising Sun SEA are going to bail them out again with yet another round like that. Troye also searching for that target. A little slow from the Honey Molasses. Maybe eyeballing that left side. Mameshi staying high on the ammo to make sure that he can get some damage.
Jay's by himself.
Here it comes. Jay with the super popped and an easy takedown for Team Flash. Another one on a CZK. And Rising Sun SEA down to their last member. The spins and pins are already out, but it's a game far from over. The final bits of damage. Hiroshi with the last shot. Mameshi as well chiming in. Rising Sun SEA go down. And Team Flash are your July monthly finals champions here in SEA.
A sigh of relief as all things go as planned here for Team Flash. Mameshi certainly feeling good about this one. When you look towards Rising Sun, you know, I called it as soon as that Edgar went down, the month was